Good afternoon, baseball fans, and welcome to another edition of Sports Talk with Rags here in Season 3, Episode 66. And today, here we are with Mount Olive, former Mount Olive baseball player and former Major League Baseball pitcher Carter Capps. Carter, how you doing today?
Good. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me on.
Oh, sure, no problem. Hey, let's start at the beginning. I mean, when you were growing up, and I know that you played the travel ball there when I first met you when you were 10 years old. But did you play other sports as you were getting into high school, or did you just stick there with baseball?
Yeah. No, I played all the sports pretty much growing up. Played basketball, soccer, football. I'd say football was my biggest one I played. Then I played my freshman year in high school, but then I started breaking fingers and stuff, all the pass blocking and tight end type stuff. So switched to soccer then to stay in shape. So I played soccer at the same high school and then played baseball in the fall just to kind of stay in shape and stuff. So.
Right. Yeah, and let's see and talk about here with being a catcher there in high school and the recruiting process here to play baseball at the next level when it was time to play. As you got to be an upperclassman and want to play at the next level.
Yeah, recruiting was pretty easy. I only got recruited by one school, so that kept and that which is funny because so now I'm the pitching coach and I do
Right.
some recruiting and stuff at Seattle University.
Right.
But so I see the other side of the recruiting stuff. But yeah, it's just crazy. I mean, like I said, not a lot of interest. I was just a catcher, had a lot of arm strength, and then had an opportunity to go to Mount Olive as a two-way guy originally. And then I switched to just pitching after my first year. But yeah, no, it was pretty easy process. Somebody wanted me and wanted to give me an opportunity, so I said, yeah, sure, I'll take that.
Yeah, and nothing like, I mean, not only with the academics, but also being part of Mount Olive baseball and playing for Carl Lancaster.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it was really good. And then, so they actually won the national championship in 2008. So it was like, obviously I want to go, try and, be in the College World Series. So that was really cool and like a lot of incentive. Obviously, I mean, it's the best, one of the best Division II programs in the country, and certainly in the area. So it was like kind of a no brainer. Like I said, opportunity to hit a little bit, catch a little bit, and learn how to pitch. It was like, yep, like I have nothing but good things to say. I'm actually going to be back. Carl Lancaster has like a facility or something going up in November, so I'll actually be back for that to kind of see that full process and everything.
Oh, nice, nice. But it's so there in Mount Olive, you guys, 2010 was a was a good year. Made it to the regionals, and then in 2011 won the regionals and made a World Series appearance there in Cary, North Carolina. But 24-1 their your record there, 2 seasons pitching at Mount Olive.
Yep, yeah, no, like I said, they gave me an opportunity and I kind of wanted to run with it. So no, it was awesome, and had some success. So helped me get drafted. So all I could ask
Yeah,
for.
right. And then also, what after 2010, you spent that summer season playing in the Coastal Plains League of the Fayetteville Swamp Dogs, right?
Yeah, so in 2009, I just started pitching full time, and I played in Martinsville Mustangs in the Coastal Plain League. And then 2010, I was Fayetteville, and then I went to the Cape after that. But yeah, no, the Coastal Plain League is a really, really good wood bat league for summer. Had a lot of fun there. Some really cool cities and stuff. Now they got the Morehead City Marlins and stuff. So you got some beach cities, you got some more interior cities. So it's a really cool spot. So I really like that, and really like my time in the Coastal Plain League for sure.
Yeah, and then you get drafted in 2011, but before you sign, you take advantage of going up to the Cape and playing there in the Harwich, playing for the Harwich Mariners, and ended up being named to the All-Star game and getting the opportunity to pitch at Fenway.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that was my so that was actually the first big league stadium I've ever seen. Was Fenway during that time period. Like I'd never grew up in rural North Carolina. I'd never been to a major league ballpark or anything like that. So no, it was a really cool experience and awesome to just kind of see what my goals were because I'd already been drafted. So my goals were obviously play in the big leagues. And kind of see the big event and the big venues and all the seats and just like the bigger cities too, because I mean, I think I took my first plane flight before, like on my way up to the Cape. So like, pretty, regionalized, look on life, and then had everything kind of thrown at me all at once. So no, it was really cool, really eye opening, but a lot of fun. I would recommend the Cape to anybody. It's a really cool environment. It's just kind of like you see on that. The movie with Freddie Prinze Jr. I can't think of or Summer Catch.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like the Summer Catch movie, right? Like you're playing on high school fields. The fields aren't great, but like the competition's best in the nation. Cities are small. Beach towns. Really nice weather that time of year. It's a really cool environment.
Yeah, and and I know how the fields are, playing during the regular season, but that particular summer, I mean, to have not only the All-Star game there at Fenway, but then you definitely showed your stuff there with getting an appearance and and so when you came back from the Cape, then it was time to start your professional career.
Yeah. I mean, that was the reason I went to the Cape. I think they had already drafted me, obviously.
Right.
And one of the knocks that they had when they came and were originally offering me the money, that we would eventually sign for is, that I hadn't faced, the best hitters in the nation because I was in Division II, and which kind of pissed me off, right? Because like I'm 24-1, I won like National Player of the Year. We went to the College World Series, and then you were telling me like I hadn't faced anybody. I was like, okay, well I'll go to the Cape where everybody's at, and we'll see what happens there. So it ended up doubling my money pretty much. But no, that like I said, kind of one of those bet on yourself type of things. But no, it was really cool.
Yeah, and just for the listeners out there, I mean, under 2 ERA, they're 1.75 and 129 strikeouts to the 18 walks there that last year there at Mount Olive, but a little exclamation point there with getting the opportunity to show your stuff there at the Cape. But your professional career start there in Clinton, and then out of spring training in 2012, start there in Double A Jackson, Tennessee, there with the Mariners affiliate.
Yeah. So I mean, I pretty much signed, drafted in June. The draft was still in June at the time, not late July or mid July now. Right. But yeah, so finished out, signed around August. About a month left in the season by the time everything's said and done. So they send me out to Low A, Clinton, Iowa, where they make Purina dog food, and it smells like Purina dog food the whole time, which was funny because Mount Olive, smells like the pickles. To the dog food place, and it smells like dog food. But yeah, no, small town Midwest, but really cool. Like I said, a lot of cornfields, and same thing. You're going to little cities around, all bus trips still. No plane trips yet, so it's all pretty regional, but really good competition. I was starting, so I was starting at Mount Olive. Relieved all summer at the Cape, and then went back. They wanted to see me start some more to finish up my innings, and then I was set on an innings limit and a pitch limit for the outing and stuff like that. But no, it was really cool, kind of initiation into pro ball to be on a full season team right away, pretty much, which doesn't really happen a ton now, with the extended leagues and the rookie league being gone and the complex leagues going up. So.
Yeah, I know that Elizabeth and I, we were able to, meet your parents there in Eastern Tennessee
Yeah.
for a road trip there in May 2012 when you guys played the Smokies and, Jackson. I mean, it was definitely a great pitching staff here with yourself, Taiwan Walker, James Paxton, Danny Holton, and even King Felix's brother.
Yeah, yeah. Moises was there. We had a squad. I think how it was set up is like however you get to the playoffs, it was like you win the first half or you win the
Right.
second half and you're in. I'm pretty sure we won both halves. Like it was just like we were crushing people, and we still had a decent amount of guys moving, but we just had so many good pieces. I think Holton was there for majority of the year. I was there for about you know up until the All-Star break, pretty much.
Right.
Um, we had Stephen Pryor, who was out of the
Mm.
bullpen later with me in the big leagues.
Right.
Brandon Maurer, who I ended up playing with in San Diego. Like I said, Danny. We had some older guys who, kind of more organizational guys at the time, but like could
Yeah.
just flat out pitch it. You know what I mean? Maybe didn't have the projection to go all the way, but like they still had some really good stuff. It was, you know, everybody knew when we kind of rolled in. I was like, okay, like it's gonna be a tough series because we had some hitters too. We had Brad Miller,
Mm.
um, we had Stephen Proscia, Hicks behind the dish. We had, gosh, and we had some really big boppers in the outfield, but uh, I don't think made it to the big leagues. But we had some dudes. We looked like kind of like a prison squad getting off the bus. We had some big boys. Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, yeah, and and then here as 2012, as the season went along, I mean, the team was doing great. You were doing great, and then you get promoted to AAA, and then after just a weekend in AAA, you get the call that on July 31st, 2012, you're going to the show.
Yeah, yeah. I pitched like I said the majority of the year in Double A. Made the All Star team there, and then shortly after got called up to Triple A. Pitched one outing,
Right.
and then I get called back into the manager's office. Like it's like this isn't good, right? I just got here. Like I pitched well. Like they pulled me out middle of the outing. I'm like, did I do something wrong? Did I miss a sign? Did I embarrass somebody? Like was I not supposed to be out? Like what happened? Because like never good to be feel like you're cruising and all of a sudden they take the ball from your hand. I'm like, okay, something's going on. So I just didn't know if I was getting sent down or what. But then they, like I said, called me into the office after my only outing. I met them in Tucson. Um, and then they said, you're going to go the rest of the way up to the big leagues. So, yeah, and then I met the team at home in Seattle, which was only the second big league stadium I'd ever seen. So really, yeah, really cool. And, like I said, I still live in the Seattle area. So just kind of fell in love with the area and the people and the weather. So, no, I liked it a lot. But no, it was awesome experience. And like I said, from a guy who in 2011 was taking his first plane flight to be in the big leagues, and a year later, it's like, okay, this is a lot to learn really quick.
Right. Yeah, and so Elizabeth and I, May 2012, we see you there, Double A, and then your parents call us, and we get the opportunity to meet everybody in New York City, and nothing like after the seventh inning stretch, see you come out of the bullpen and make your major league debut there at Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, yeah. No, it was. If you're gonna do it, you might as well do it there, I guess. Yeah. So met the team in Seattle, played a series against Toronto. Maybe I was there for 2 games, didn't get in. So
Right.
I'm just sitting there waiting, and then we have a cross country trip. So then it's a day off,
Right.
and then we I finally get in New York. So it's a little bit of waiting at first, but no, definitely worth it.
Yeah, and play a couple seasons with with the Mariners, and then with the business side, they go for hitter, so they trade you there to Miami and play a couple seasons there with the Marlins.
Yeah, yep. So we played 12 and 13 with the Mariners, and then I got traded for Logan Morrison to Miami. So no more Florida Marlins, Miami Marlins, and played there. What was it? 14, 15, 16, and then 16 get traded to San Diego.
Okay, yeah, and then after 17, then I mean I know that we had the pandemic and everything, but there 2021 had an opportunity here to be what pitching coach there in the Mets minor league organization there in 2021.
Yeah, so I finished playing. My last year was 18. I didn't make it to the big leagues. So played out 2018, 2019, didn't do a whole lot. And then the pandemic kind of happened. I went to work at Driveline, which was a local, place for me, but, is huge into data analytics and kind of what I wanted to do, get into coaching. So
Right.
kind of got myself a big knowledge base there. And then I was hired by the Mets, and I was their complex coordinator there, which was a lot of fun. I got to work with, a ton of guys. And then my wife and I had our baby, so wanted to stay with them, but it was in Florida, a lot of traveling and stuff. So we decided to take a job with this Division I school, Seattle University, to be their pitching coach. So it kind of let me get back on field, let me live in my own house, close to family and stuff. So it was made a lot of sense. But yeah, no, that's what I'm doing now. So really enjoying that.
Yeah, and it looks like, with let's see, you got 2 seasons under your belt here with being the pitching coach there for Seattle University. So, as you made reference here at the beginning, here now being on the coaching side of recruiting, how is it there with college coaching there in the Great Northwest?
Yeah, I mean, I still get a ton of guys from out of state. Like the big states are always going to be, you see they take a ton of guys in the draft, right? Guys from Florida, guys from California, Texas, the Carolinas. I think North Carolina had 8 teams in a, what was it, regional or something crazy with Wake Forest, NC State, Campbell. I mean, it was just an insane amount of talent. But like you see, like there's just hot spots like that. So yeah, no, I do a ton of recruiting out of state, but also just kind of, the local areas around here. There's all kinds of tournaments. And now, kind of with the emergence of Twitter and stuff, it's so easy to find those talented guys, right? Like somebody literally gives me a name. Like they don't have to tell me what school they go. They don't have to tell me right-handed, left-handed. I don't need none. Just tell me their name. And then I'll go look them up on Twitter. Usually in their Twitter profile, it'll have what school they go to, a way to contact them. If they're eligible to be contacted, it'll have fastball velo, changeup velo, curveball velo, spin rates. Like it'll have everything I need in their stuff, and you're almost doing yourself a disservice if you don't have that. It just is a marketing tool. You don't have to be a big Twitter guy or anything like that. Just like have it up, have your stats. Like it's free marketing. Like you don't have to pay anybody, and it's just an easy way for me to go through and say, oh wow, like 2 years ago he was 80, 82,
Right.
look how much bigger and stronger he's got. He's clearly putting in the work. Like this guy is a guy I want in our program. Like he's, doing all the right things, so the first question I'll ask, hey, because we are a heavy academic school, we're a private school. So I was like, hey, what do your grades look like? Like, can I even get you in the door? And then as soon as I have grades and I have, a little bit of knowledge, okay, I feel like this guy could, make a jump, or like he has the makeup that I want physically, and like I got to make a few tweaks. Like nobody's a finished product, so I'm not looking for finished products. But like, okay, I feel like I'm really good at developing this or that or this as a coach. So I go through and I look for guys that have those qualities, or maybe lacking in those qualities, and it's just plug and play. And I have a really good system that I developed when I was with the Mets. That was kind of what I was charged with, was kind of developing their pitching player development program.
Yeah.
So I run a version of that myself, and it's we're trying to get good results that we can repeat, right? So we had a guy, drafted in the 11th round this year. Like, I'm hoping in a year or two I'll have a top 3 rounder. We got a really good class coming in, so it's like just kind of be a pipeline to the big leagues. We were mid-major, so understand that there's definitely issues with getting guys from Power Fives and stuff like that. But no, we're going to be very competitive for a long time, and like I said, I want to be continue to pump out big leaguers. That's kind of my goal.
Yeah, and right there in Seattle, I mean, they've had the All-Star game was back, in Seattle in the early 2000s. It was at T-Mobile Park this past summer, and then King Felix just went in the Mariners Hall of Fame. So with living in the area, do you get to go down to T-Mobile?
Yeah, now no longer Safeco. Yeah, no, I don't
Right.
go a ton, just because that's the kind of the time of year that we're busy too, just with recruiting and then also our actual season. But yeah, no, I was able to. All-Star game was after our season, so I was able to go down there. They had like a MLB PAA thing where we've got to meet some of the other guys that had played long time ago, recently, all that. So like we were able to kind of do some of the all-star festivities without having to actually go to the game or anything like that. But
Right.
no, it was really really cool way to participate a little bit. And it was huge for the city. I mean, I think one weekend we had like all kinds of stuff going on. It was a big moneymaker for the city. I don't think people realize how much like an all-star game or like the Olympics or something brings money into the city. Just crazy.
Right. And Carter, appreciate your time. And I know where Elizabeth and I live here in the Tidewater area of Virginia. We've come across Topher Ellis, and we've also come
Oh yeah.
across Chris Taylor. You know, couple of guys here.
Yeah, for
What
sure.
Topher played college ball there with you, right?
Yeah. So I played with him in probably 10 and 11. Now
Yeah.
I'm going through a tunnel, so I may lose you. 10 and
Okay.
11. And then, yeah, for Chris Taylor, he was good friends with Danny Holtzen. They all
Right.
played on the same team together.
Right. Yeah, well, hey, Carter, I certainly appreciate time, especially with being on the go, and thanks for sharing your story. And hey, appreciate you coming on here, especially with being on the go and sharing your story today.
Oh yeah, sorry. I was. What were you asking? I'm through the tunnel now.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh no. I really appreciate your time, and
Oh
we
yeah.
were just sharing here with Hicks and Holton and Chris Taylor being being UVA, ball players.
Yeah.
But appreciate your time and sharing your story, especially with being on the go.
Oh yeah, for sure, no problem. Yeah, like I was saying, yeah, I knew all those guys well just because I was pretty good friends with Holton. We'd go fishing all the time
Right.
when we were playing together in Jackson, and then the following year we all had a apartment for spring training. So Taylor would be over there occasionally, so kind of get to know those guys. But yeah, no, that was a really, I mean, think about how talented that UVA squad was. I mean, Taylor's still playing. Holton has a few injuries, but second overall pick.
Right.
Yeah, Brad Miller was at Clemson, so we saw him a ton. So they were like that. The ACC was just stacked that year, which was just crazy to see all those really big profile guys. So.
Right. Well, hey, thanks again for your time, and tell Alyssa and your son that Elizabeth and I said hi, and we'll talk to you later.
Perfect, sounds good. I appreciate it.
All right, fans. So that was Carter Capps here on today's show. So thanks again, Carter.
Yep. Thank you. Have a good one.